Lucas spent the next days helping the community prepare for the next confrontation. Everyone knew Gideon would return stronger and more determined. Jack spent long hours repairing weapons, while Mia carefully planned their defenses and trained. Volunteers. Lucas watched Kara closely, amazed by her energy and dedication. She tirelessly moved among the survivors, boosting their courage and helping wherever needed. Lucas felt proud to work alongside her, learning much from her steady leadership. Early. One morning, while Lucas assisted Jack in the workshop, a scout hurriedly approached. Gideon's gathered more fighters, even stronger this time. He's coming soon, the scout reported breathlessly. Jack sighed heavily, looking at Lucas with concern. This is sooner than expected. We might not be fully prepared yet. Lucas felt his stomach knot with worry, but he pushed the feeling down. He nodded firmly. Then we'll do whatever it takes to be ready. Jack managed a weak smile, clearly encouraged by Lucas's determination. They both hurried to inform Mia and Kara, who quickly gathered everyone to finalize their plans. The atmosphere in the community became tense but resolute. Volunteers worked tirelessly, securing barricades and preparing traps around their perimeter. Everyone knew the coming battle would be decisive, shaping their future. Kara approached Lucas later, her expression serious but supportive. You've inspired them. They believe in themselves again because of you. Lucas felt warmth rise within him, humbled by her words. I only did what I thought was right, she smiled gently. That's exactly why they're willing to fight. Just before sunset, alarms rang out, alerting them to Gideon's approach. Lucas quickly donned the armor, feeling its familiar weight settle around him. Its power hummed faintly, reassuring him. He joined Kara, Jack, Mia, and the rest of the defenders at their post. In the fading daylight, Gideon's forces emerged. From the shadows, more numerous than before. Gideon stepped forward confidently, his eyes glittering with hatred. You could have avoided this, he shouted. Now, you'll suffer for your stubbornness. Lucas stepped forward, voice steady, despite his pounding heart. We won't surrender our future to you. Gideon sneered, waving his fighters forward. Destroy them all! Chaos erupted instantly. The defenders fought bravely, their determination matching Gideon's overwhelming numbers. Lucas moved quickly, the armor amplifying his strength and agility. Each fight tested his courage and resilience, but the thought of protecting his new family drove him on. Kara fought fiercely, her movements graceful yet powerful. Jack and Mia coordinated defenses, quickly adapting as Gideon's forces pressed closer. Lucas admired their bravery, knowing they fought not just for survival, but for something greater. As the battle intensified, Lucas noticed Kara struggling against a group of attackers. Without hesitation, he rushed toward her, breaking through enemy lines to reach her side. I'm fine, Kara gasped, clearly exhausted, but unwilling to stop fighting. Lucas stood protectively by her side, determined to shield her. Suddenly, Gideon himself charged forward, a dangerous glint in his eyes. He swung his weapon viciously, knocking Kara aside. Lucas felt fury rise within him, focusing sharply on Gideon. Ends now, Lucas said, his voice strong and unwavering. Gideon laughed cruelly, lunging forward aggressively. They clashed fiercely, each strike reverberating through Lucas's armor. Lucas felt himself tired but forced himself to keep fighting, remembering everything at stake. You're weak, Gideon taunted, pressing his advantage. You'll fail, just like everyone else. Lucas gathered all his remaining strength, striking back with determination. You're wrong. Humanity will rise again. Their fight intensified, both combatants driven by deep convictions. Around them, the defenders rallied, inspired by Lucas's bravery. Kara managed to regain her feet, quickly joining the fight once more. Slowly, Gideon's forces began to falter, losing confidence as their leader struggled against Lucas. Gideon, sensing defeat approaching, fought desperately, his attacks becoming reckless. Lucas took advantage of Gideon's desperation, striking decisively and finally overpowering him. Gideon stumbled back, defeated and exhausted. Lucas stood over him, victorious but unwilling to harm him further. Surrender now, Gideon, Lucas commanded firmly, and end this pointless fight. Gideon glared hatefully, but finally dropped his weapon, recognizing defeat. His remaining fighters retreated quickly, leaving the defenders victorious once again. Cheers erupted around Lucas, everyone celebrating their hard-fought victory. Kara approached slowly, her eyes filled with pride and relief. "You did it again," she said warmly, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "We all did," Lucas replied. Looking gratefully at those around him, Jack and Mia quickly began tending to the wounded, ensuring everyone received care. The defenders worked together, supporting each other as they recovered from the intense battle. Lucas helped Kara sit down gently, noticing she was still in pain. "Rest now," he urged gently. Kara smiled weakly, allowing herself a rare moment of vulnerability. "Thanks for saving me." Lucas nodded softly, feeling a bond deepen between them. "You've saved me more times than I can count." As night settled over the community, everyone reflected quietly on their victory. They knew challenges still lay ahead, but tonight they had won an important battle. Hope burned brightly within their hearts, stronger than ever. Lucas remained, awake, watching the stars once more, knowing his life had changed forever. He felt ready for whatever came next, confident in his strength and the people around him. Together, they would rebuild and reclaim their world, one small victory at a time. Lucas woke up early, the soft hum of machines comforting him. He stretched and looked around the resistance bunker, still amazed by the equipment and supplies surrounding him. Kara was already awake, sitting near a monitor, focused intensely on the screen. "Good morning," Lucas said quietly, approaching her slowly. He noticed she looked worried. Kara glanced up briefly. "Morning. We have some problems." Lucas felt his stomach twist slightly. "What kind of problems?" She sighed, turning fully to face him. "More scavengers are gathering. Gideon is rallying his people, and they've reached out to other groups. The armor is too valuable for them to ignore. They want its power for themselves." Lucas felt fear creep into his chest, but he quickly pushed it aside. "Then we have to make sure they can't take it." Kara studied him carefully, respect growing in her eyes. "You're right, but we'll need help." "Where can we find help?" Lucas asked, hopeful but unsure. Kara stood up, reaching for her gear. "There are others out there, survivors like us. Some still believe in humanity and its strength. We'll have to find them and convince them to join us." Lucas nodded eagerly. He was determined to help in any way he could. After a quick meal, they packed lightly, taking only necessary items. The armor was carefully secured to Lucas's back, its weight now. Familiar and comforting, they left the safety of the bunker cautiously, moving through the shadows. The ruined city above them was quiet but tense, as if waiting for something to happen. Lucas felt eyes on them, hidden figures observing silently from dark corners and broken windows. After an hour, Kara stopped in front of a large, abandoned building. It was once a library, its shelves empty and walls crumbling. Lucas noticed faded signs of its former purpose, remnants of a lost world. "We meet here," Kara whispered. She knocked on a hidden door rhythmically. After a tense pause, it opened slightly, revealing a suspicious face. Kara spoke quietly, reassuring the guard, who finally allowed them inside. Inside, the library was transformed into a makeshift community center. Small groups of survivors gathered around, talking quietly or sharing food. Many eyed Lucas and the armor cautiously, clearly aware of its significance. Kara led Lucas to a small group sitting at a table. They looked up, surprised but welcoming. Among them was Jack, a mechanic known for his skills, and Mia, who everyone respected for her tactical knowledge. "Kara," Jack greeted warmly, standing to shake her hand. "It's been a long time." "Too long," Kara agreed. "We need your help." Jack looked toward Lucas and the armor. "I see you found something important." Lucas introduced himself, explaining their situation. We can't protect it alone, he said earnestly. We need allies. Gideon and his group want this armor for themselves. Mia leaned forward, thoughtful and serious. Gideon won't stop easily. He's dangerous, and now he's gaining more followers. But maybe we can fight back, Jack nodded in agreement. This armor could rally people again. It could give us hope. But it's a risk. We must convince the others. They quickly formed a plan. Lucas and Kara spent hours talking to the community members, sharing their vision and convincing them of the importance of unity. Lucas felt his confidence growing as he spoke passionately about humanity's potential to rise again. By evening, many survivors agreed to help. Jack and Mia quickly organized teams, assigning roles and responsibilities. Lucas was impressed by their leadership and felt reassured knowing such capable people were now on their side. The community buzzed with new purpose and excitement, preparing for the challenges ahead. Weapons were gathered, defenses strengthened, and scouts sent to monitor Gideon's movements. As night fell, Lucas found himself alone on the library roof, looking at the stars peeking through the clouds. Kara soon joined him, silent but supportive. Do you really think we can win? Lucas asked softly, voicing the doubts he had kept hidden. Kara looked thoughtfully at the sky. I don't know, but I believe we have to try. That's the essence of humanity, never giving up, even when things seem impossible. Lucas nodded slowly, feeling encouraged by her words. You're right, we'll fight. Suddenly, their quiet moment was shattered by the sound of an alarm ringing below. They raced downstairs, finding Jack and Mia waiting urgently. Scouts spotted. Gideon's forces moving closer, Mia explained quickly. We have to act now. Lucas grabbed the armor, fastening it securely. The community quickly gathered, ready and determined. Lucas felt pride and hope seeing their bravery. Each face resolute, they moved silently through the darkened streets, heading towards Gideon's last known position. Tension hung heavy in the air, every shadow a potential threat. Finally, they reached a large clearing, remnants of buildings outlining their path. In the center, Gideon stood waiting confidently, surrounded by his armed scavengers. His face twisted into a smug smile upon seeing Lucas and Kara. Finally decided to give up? Gideon mocked, stepping forward arrogantly. Lucas stepped forward bravely, his voice steady. We're here to give you one chance to back down. The armor isn't yours to take. Gideon laughed coldly, signaling his group to prepare their weapons. You've chosen your fate, then. Lucas felt Kara's reassuring presence beside him. He took a deep breath, ready to face whatever came next. Around him, his new allies stood firm, ready to fight for their future. The clearing erupted into action, both sides clashing fiercely. Lucas fought bravely, inspired by Kara's skill and determination. Together, their combined strength pushed back Gideon's forces. As the battle raged, Lucas spotted Gideon approaching, his face filled with fury. Lucas stood his ground, heart pounding but refusing to yield. You think you're a hero? Gideon spat angrily. You're nothing. You're wrong, Lucas replied firmly. We're survivors, and together we will reclaim our world. Fueled by determination, Lucas fought with renewed vigor. Slowly, Gideon's forces began retreating. Overwhelmed by the unity and courage of the survivors, Gideon hesitated, recognizing his defeat. He backed away slowly, eyes filled with bitterness. This isn't over, he warned darkly. Lucas stood tall, watching Gideon disappear into the shadows. The survivors cheered around him, celebrating their hard-won victory. Kara approached, smiling. Softly, You did it, she said proudly. We did it, Lucas corrected warmly. He felt hope burning brightly within him, knowing that together they could face any challenge ahead. Lucas watched nervously as Kara continued to examine the armor. Her hands moved confidently over its surface, pressing buttons and reconnecting loose wires. Occasionally, sparks flew, causing Lucas to jump slightly. The room was quiet except for the low hum of the old machines and the faint, rhythmic tapping of Kara's tools. He wondered if Kara had always lived like this. hidden away, guarding relics of a world long gone. Lucas felt a deep curiosity about her past, but sensed that she preferred to keep it secret. Instead, he focused on learning whatever he could from her. Kara suddenly looked up, her eyes serious. It's ready. But remember, once I activate it, they will come. You must be prepared. Lucas swallowed hard but nodded firmly. I'm ready. Kara nodded slowly, acknowledging his bravery. She pressed a hidden panel on the armor's chest plate, and the symbols lit up brightly. A soft humming filled the room, and the armor vibrated slightly, coming alive. Lucas took a step back, eyes wide with awe and apprehension. Amazing, he breathed, unable to hide his excitement. Kara, however, remained focused. She quickly checked the screen nearby, her eyes scanning rapidly. We don't have much time. They've detected it already. We need to leave now. Lucas quickly helped her pack essential supplies into a small bag. His hands trembled slightly as he gathered food, water, and tools. Kara secured the armor into a makeshift carrying harness, carefully adjusting straps to ensure it would remain stable. Follow me, Kara instructed firmly, moving toward another hidden door. Lucas hurried after, her heart pounding in his chest. The door opened into a narrow tunnel lit only by dim emergency lights. They moved swiftly, their footsteps echoing softly off the walls. Where are we going? Lucas asked, trying to keep his voice steady. Somewhere safer, Kara replied briefly. We must reach the old resistance bunker. It's hidden deeper underground. As they moved, Lucas realized he could feel the weight of responsibility increasing with every step. He knew the armor was important, but he was starting to understand just how much danger it could attract. Kara had been right. This armor was both powerful and dangerous. They reached the end of the tunnel and emerged into an open area beneath the city, its ceiling high above, supported by massive stone columns. The space felt like an ancient, forgotten cathedral, the air cool and filled with echoes of dripping water. Lucas looked around in amazement. He had never seen anything like this before. Kara paused briefly, checking a small device in her hand. We're close, but we're not alone. Stay alert. Lucas tightened his grip on his makeshift weapon, a rusty metal bar he had found earlier. It wasn't much, but it gave him some courage. They moved silently through the vast chamber, eyes scanning every shadow for potential threats. Suddenly, a harsh voice echoed through the space, startling them both. You can't hide forever, Kara. Lucas saw figures emerging from the shadows, their outlines clear against the dim lights. He recognized them instantly, rogue scavengers known to be violent and ruthless. The leader stepped forward, a man named Gideon with a reputation for cruelty. Hand over the armor, Gideon demanded coldly. We saw its signal. It's valuable, and it belongs to whoever is strong enough to claim it. It belongs to humanity, Kara snapped defiantly, stepping protectively. In front of Lucas. You won't touch it. Gideon laughed mockingly. Humanity? Look around you. Humanity failed. We're all just survivors now. That armor is mine. Lucas could feel his heart racing. Fear surged through him, but he knew he had to be brave. He stepped forward, trying to keep his voice firm. No, we won't let you take it. Gideon's expression darkened, his eyes narrowing dangerously. Then you'll pay the price. At his signal, the scavengers charged forward, weapons drawn. Kara moved swiftly, her movements graceful and precise as she fought off attackers with skill Lucas had never seen before. She was fierce and unstoppable, her determination clear. Lucas gripped his metal bar tightly, swinging it clumsily, but with determination. He felt panic rising inside him, but he remembered Kara's bravery and forced himself to fight harder. He managed to push back a scavenger who got too close, surprising himself with his own strength. The fight was chaotic, the sounds of clanging metal and shouts filling the cavern. Lucas struggled to keep up, but Kara fought like a storm, defeating enemies with fierce efficiency. Finally, Gideon signaled a retreat, realizing they couldn't win. You'll regret this. Gideon shouted angrily, his voice fading as he and his group disappeared into the shadows. Lucas leaned against a pillar, breathing heavily. His body ached from the fight, but he felt a sense of pride he had never experienced before. Kara came over, checking him for injuries quickly. "You did well," she said quietly, offering a rare smile. "Better than I expected." "Thanks," Lucas gasped, still catching his breath. "What now?" "Now we keep moving," Kara replied, determination back in her voice. "They'll return with more strength. We need the safety of the bunker." Lucas nodded, gathering his courage again. He lifted the armor carefully, feeling more connected to it than ever before. They continued their journey, moving swiftly but cautiously, aware of the dangers now hunting them. After what felt like hours, Kara finally stopped at a hidden metal door embedded deep within a stone wall. She pressed a series of hidden switches, and the door slowly creaked open, revealing a secure, fortified space. "We're here," she said with relief. "Welcome to the Resistance bunker." Lucas stepped inside, looking around at the well-stocked supplies, equipment, and the comfortable living space. He knew this place could be their sanctuary, a safe haven in the dangerous world. "We'll be safe here," Kara assured him gently. For now, Lucas nodded slowly, feeling hopeful for the first time. He knew the road ahead was dangerous, but with Kara by his side and the powerful armor to protect, he felt ready to face whatever challenges came next. Lucas moved carefully among the piles of twisted metal and rusted debris, his eyes scanning for anything useful. The sky was dark and heavy clouds hung low, hinting at rain. He adjusted his worn-out jacket, which barely kept the chill away. Every day was a challenge, scavenging what little was left in the devastated lands where his ancestors once thrived. Years ago, Earth had been beautiful, a planet full of life and progress. Now all that remained were ruins and memories of the past. Lucas had grown up listening to stories about a vibrant world filled with laughter and peace. Those days seemed impossible now. He sighed and pushed away thoughts of a better time. Survival was his only goal. He knelt down, brushing dirt off an old circuit board. It was broken, just another useless scrap. Lucas threw it aside and moved on, his hope fading. Something shiny caught his eye beneath a mound of crushed vehicles. Lucas approached cautiously. Shiny things were rare and usually valuable. He dug with his bare hands, the rough edges of metal cutting his fingers slightly. He ignored the pain. Excitement filled his chest as more of the object revealed itself. It was armor clearly advanced and unlike anything he had seen before. It looked strong, with layers of smooth metal and a strange glow still pulsing weakly from its core. His heart raced with curiosity. He pulled harder, desperate to free it completely. The armor seemed to resist him, almost as if something beneath the rubble was holding it back. "Come on," Lucas muttered, pulling with all his strength. Sweat formed on his brow despite the chill. Finally, the armor shifted and slid free, collapsing onto the dirt with a loud clang. Lucas stumbled backward, breathing heavily as he stared at his find. The armor was impressive. Even covered in dust, it gleamed softly in the dim light. Strange symbols lined its surface, glowing faintly. Lucas reached out cautiously, touching its cool surface. He wondered what kind of hero or soldier had worn this. A low growl suddenly came from behind him, chilling him to the bone. Lucas turned slowly, his heart pounding. Standing just a few feet away was a figure cloaked in shadows, eyes sharp and dangerous. It was Kara. She was known throughout these lands, fierce and protective of old relics. Lucas had heard stories of her, whispered around campfires at night. People spoke of her strength, speed, and how she protected the forgotten treasures of humanity. "Put it back," Kara said again, stepping forward into the dim light. Her dark hair framed a stern face, and her eyes held a warning. "Or you're next." Lucas swallowed hard, glancing back at the armor. I didn't mean any harm," he said carefully, his voice shaking slightly. "I just thought it could help." Kara's eyes narrowed, clearly judging whether he was a threat. After a moment, she relaxed slightly, but her guard remained up. That armor isn't just metal and wires. It belonged to Elijah, she said quietly, her tone heavy with respect. Lucas looked at her in confusion. Elijah? Kara nodded slowly, stepping closer. A great hero from the old times. He protected Earth from powerful enemies. This armor has power, but also danger. If activated wrongly, it can draw those enemies back here. Lucas felt a shiver run through him. He had never imagined finding something so important. He glanced back at the armor, now feeling more afraid. Then excited, I had no idea, Lucas whispered. But maybe we can protect it together. Maybe we can use it to fight back. Kara studied him carefully, her expression thoughtful. Lucas could see that she was considering his words seriously. Finally, she sighed softly. You're brave or foolish. Maybe both. I want to help, Lucas insisted firmly, standing taller. I want to learn how. She hesitated briefly before nodding slowly. Then we must move quickly. Others might have seen the glow. We aren't the only ones scavenging. Lucas immediately felt the urgency in her voice. He nodded quickly and reached down, gripping the armor to lift it carefully. It was surprisingly heavy, but with Kara's help, they managed to move it deeper into the shadows. Hidden from sight, Kara led him through narrow pathways, winding between wrecked cars and toppled buildings. She moved swiftly and silently, clearly knowing these paths by heart. Lucas followed close behind, struggling to keep pace while carrying the heavy armor. After what felt like an eternity, they reached a concealed entrance, hidden beneath an old, crumbling bridge. Kara pushed open the heavy door and gestured Lucas inside. He stepped into a dimly lit room filled with relics from a lost era. Screens flickered faintly, displaying images and text he couldn't understand. Machines hummed softly, barely functioning after years of neglect. This is incredible, Lucas murmured, looking around in awe. Stay focused, Kara warned, her tone sharp. We don't have much time. Lucas placed the armor down carefully on an empty table. Kara moved quickly, examining it with practiced eyes. She pressed buttons and twisted dials, her expression intense. Is it still working? Lucas asked quietly, afraid to disturb her concentration. Kara didn't answer immediately, her fingers moving expertly over the armor. Finally, she looked up, her eyes bright with determination. Yes, she said firmly. But the moment I activate it, others will know. Our enemies will come. Lucas straightened, determination filling his heart. Then we'll be ready. Kara's lips twitched into a brief, approving smile. Good, because there's no turning back. Lucas nodded again, feeling a rush of purpose for the first time in his life. He knew the risks, but finally he felt hope. Hope that maybe, just maybe, humanity wasn't lost yet. Following a major victory over Commander Alaric, the rebellion led by Alex Carter gained even more support across the galaxy. People from different planets celebrated their newfound freedom, hopeful that peace was finally within reach. However, not all members of the Zorov Empire accepted defeat so easily. Powerful leaders who had served under Alaric began plotting secretly, determined to regain their control. They refused to accept Alex's vision of unity and peace. Alex understood that the fight was far from over. Even with Alaric imprisoned, his followers remained dangerous. Tarn agreed, advising caution and careful planning. They worked closely, identifying the remaining threats within the Zorith leadership. Reports soon arrived that a group of Zorith generals had gathered there, forces on a distant world. They planned to launch a massive counterattack to crush the rebellion. Alex knew he had to act quickly to prevent another war. Gathering his closest allies, Alex planned a careful approach. He decided on negotiation first, hoping to avoid unnecessary bloodshed. With Taran by his side, Alex approached the enemy-held planet under a flag of peace. Upon landing, they were cautiously welcomed by representatives of the Zoref generals. The generals were suspicious, viewing Alex as a dangerous threat to their power. They were surprised when Alex spoke calmly, clearly, and respectfully, urging cooperation and a peaceful resolution. The discussions were difficult, filled with tension and distrust. Yet, Alex's sincerity and determination impressed many present. Taran supported him strongly, explaining the devastating consequences of further conflict. However, some generals refused peace entirely. They argued fiercely, accusing Alex of wanting revenge rather than justice. Tensions rose quickly, and violence seemed imminent. Unexpectedly, a group of alien allies arrived, representing worlds that had suffered deeply under Zorth rule. They spoke passionately, explaining how Alex had shown them mercy and kindness. Their words deeply impacted many of the generals present, causing them to reconsider their stance. Finally, after intense negotiations, several generals agreed to lay down their arms and join Alex in rebuilding the galaxy peacefully. Others remained defiant, determined to continue the fight. They left angrily, vowing to fight until the end. With many Zorth forces now allies, Alex worked diligently to strengthen peace across liberated worlds. He visited planets personally, speaking with leaders, civilians, and former enemies. Everywhere he went, he emphasized forgiveness, compassion, and unity. Yet, those Zorth generals who refused peace quickly regrouped and launched surprise attacks against vulnerable planets. Chaos returned briefly as fighting erupted in scattered areas. Alex responded quickly, leading his forces personally to protect innocent lives. In one difficult battle, Alex and his team found themselves trapped, heavily outnumbered. They fought bravely, holding their positions despite overwhelming odds. Just when defeat seemed certain, reinforcements arrived, led by former Zorth generals who had joined Alex. Their timely arrival turned the tide, securing another victory. After the battle, Alex warmly thanked the former generals for their bravery. They had proven their loyalty to the new peace, solidifying trust between previously opposing sides. Taran praised their courage, highlighting how unity and understanding had made the difference. Despite the victories, Alex felt exhausted by the continuous struggles. He worried about how long the peace would last. Taran reassured him, emphasizing the incredible progress they had already made together. Commander Alaric's trial began soon after, becoming a major event across the galaxy. The trial exposed even more deeply the Zorth Empire's brutal actions. Many Zorth citizens, previously loyal to their empire, now openly expressed shock and regret for their past support. Alaric, proud and defiant, initially refused to show remorse. However, testimonies from countless victims slowly broke his resolve. Witness after witness detailed heartbreaking stories of suffering caused by his orders. Gradually, Alaric began to understand the pain and damage he had caused. Finally, confronted by Alex, Alaric admitted his guilt publicly. He apologized sincerely, urging his remaining followers to lay down their weapons and embrace peace. His words had a profound impact, convincing many stubborn Zorth generals to surrender. With Alaric's full confession and sincere apology, the rebellion achieved its most significant victory yet. The Zorth Empire, once mighty and feared, began to crumble completely. Citizens and leaders across the galaxy embraced a new era of cooperation and unity. Alex and Taran continued working tirelessly, helping planets rebuild and heal from decades of oppression. They established councils where all races could discuss grievances openly, ensuring fairness and justice for everyone. Though challenges remained, peace became the new standard. Alex often thought of his lost humanity, saddened by memories but proud of the positive change his actions brought to countless lives. Taran continued documenting everything, determined that future generations would remember the struggle clearly, never repeating past mistakes. Together, they built a new legacy, one based on compassion, respect, and unity. The galaxy slowly transformed, leaving behind fear and violence. Alex knew the path ahead wouldn't always be easy, but his resolve remained strong. He promised to continue advocating for justice, ensuring that humanity's memory would always stand as a beacon of hope and resilience for all races. Finally, the galaxy began to heal, united in peace and shared purpose, thanks to the determination and courage of a single human survivor. After the fierce battle, Lucas spent days repairing the community alongside Kara, Jack, and Mia. Everyone worked tirelessly, determined to strengthen their home against any future attacks. The bond among survivors grew stronger, forged by shared struggles and victories. As the days passed, the armor became even more familiar to Lucas. He practiced constantly, discovering new abilities and pushing the limits of its power. Kara trained with him daily, helping him master the armor's potential. Their partnership strengthened, each trusting and relying upon the other. One evening, as they finished training, a messenger arrived urgently. The scout appeared exhausted, his eyes wide with alarm. "Another threat is approaching," he reported breathlessly. "But it's unlike anything we faced. These enemies aren't scavengers or soldiers. They are something far worse." Kara exchanged a worried look with Lucas, who quickly gathered their closest allies to discuss this new danger. Jack and Mia listened carefully, their expressions serious. "What did you see?" Mia asked calmly, her voice steady. The scout took a deep breath. "They're aliens, from the same race that attacked Earth long ago. They're drawn here by the armor's power." Lucas felt a chill run down his spine. He knew this enemy was different, more dangerous than any previous threat. He looked around at his friends, seeing determination and bravery in their eyes. "We knew this day might come," Kara stated firmly. "Now we must face it head-on." Preparations began immediately, every member of the community working to reinforce their defenses and gather supplies. Lucas trained harder, the responsibility of the armor weighing heavily upon him. He knew everyone depended on him, and he refused to let them down. Days later, alarms sounded again, warning of the alien force approaching. Lucas quickly donned the armor, feeling its familiar power surround him. He stood beside Kara, Jack, and Mia, ready to face whatever came. The alien forces appeared swiftly, their technology advanced and intimidating. Their leader emerged, tall and powerful, radiating authority. His eyes fixed on Lucas, clearly identifying him as the primary threat. "You possess something that belongs to us," the alien leader declared coldly, his voice resonating clearly. "Return the armor, and we may spare your lives." Lucas stepped forward, his voice clear and firm. "The armor belongs to humanity. We will never surrender." The alien leader's eyes narrowed. "Then face destruction." Battle erupted instantly, the aliens attacking swiftly and relentlessly. Their advanced weaponry posed a significant threat, but Lucas fought bravely, harnessing the full power of the armor. Kara remained close, fighting fiercely, never leaving his side. Jack and Mia coordinated their defenses efficiently, leading their teams bravely against the overwhelming force. Lucas admired their courage, inspired by their unwavering determination. Despite their bravery, the aliens pushed relentlessly forward, their numbers and power proving overwhelming. Lucas fought with everything he had, feeling exhaustion creeping in but refusing to yield. Suddenly, the alien leader surged forward, confronting Lucas directly. Their clash was intense, each strike echoing loudly. Lucas felt pushed to his limits, struggling to match the alien leader's strength. "You cannot defeat us," the alien leader growled. "Your kind failed once. You will fail again." Lucas steadied himself, determination burning brightly within him. "We are stronger now. We won't give up our world again." Summoning all his remaining strength, Lucas fought fiercely, his attacks precise and powerful. Slowly, he gained the advantage, driving the alien leader back. Around them, the community rallied, encouraged by Lucas's bravery. They pressed forward, reclaiming ground from the alien attackers. Lucas delivered a decisive blow, defeating the alien leader and forcing the enemy to retreat. Cheers erupted around him, everyone celebrating their victory. Lucas felt immense relief and pride in his community's strength and resilience. Kara approached him, smiling proudly. "You did it. You showed them humanity's true strength." Lucas shook his head modestly. We did it together. Everyone fought bravely. Jack and Mia quickly organized recovery efforts, ensuring everyone's safety and well-being. The community stood stronger than ever, united in their shared victory. That night, Lucas stood quietly under the stars, reflecting on their journey. Kara joined him silently, her presence comforting and reassuring. You've become a true leader, Kara said softly, looking at him with deep respect. Lucas smiled gently. Only because I had great teachers. She laughed quietly, the sound warm and genuine. We all learn from each other. Lucas nodded thoughtfully. He knew more challenges awaited, but he felt ready to face them. The community had proven its strength, and together, they could overcome anything. Lucas turned to Kara, determination in his eyes. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together. She smiled warmly, nodding confidently. Together, we'll reclaim our world.